All right. Hey, Maurice.
Hey there, Dion. How are you?
All right. All right. Uh, let's bring Lisa in. Uh,
Hi.
right. Hey, everyone. It's another water cooler Wednesday. Of
So it
course.
is.
Yes. Yes. And we're
I don't
gonna do
have,
a take two
I don't
on.
have a lot of volume. Let me turn y'all up some. Okay. There we go. That's better.
Can you hear us? Right. So
Yes. I
we're doing
just
a take
walked in.
two. Right. We're doing a take two on credit repair because last week it just didn't go right for us.
Yeah.
We don't know what Maurice was doing over there.
You're still putting it on Maurice.
I am. I'm putting it on that Indiana internet.
Yeah,
Oh
Right.
my goodness.
Right.
Hang on, let me close
to
the
blame
You
it
door.
on
don't
that.
live in the you're in the city, so right when you get to go live out in the cornfield, you can have those internet issues.
Come get
Wow.
some.
Hey, Nene. What's up?
So yes, yes. So all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, we have Maurice Holmes here. Maurice, you want to tell us a little about your company and who you are?
I
Yes,
like your
definitely.
hair, by the way, Dion.
I thought you was talking about
That's-
me.
Thank
Well,
uh,
you,
your hair
thank you.
kind of looked the same since
I,
last time I saw you,
yeah,
Maurice. So,
because
Right,
of
right,
my hairline, it's missing a little bit. It's an old age.
right.
But
Well, I have a little break for a minute, so a little something new, little something new, just for a
there
minute.
you go.
Right. So Maurice, tell us about your company. Where you at?
yep. So yeah, my name is Maurice Holmes. I have a company called the Credit Restore Station. I've been doing credit since 2007. We specialize in the removal of inaccurate, negative, and unverifiable accounts, as well as credit score boost. There are techniques out there to assist you in boosting your credit a much faster way. As opposed to the step-by-step slow process. So yeah, we specialize in those things. I've been doing credit, as I said, since 2007. I'm not only the Credit Restore Station president, but I'm also a client. um, I was my first client. I had 27 collections and 3 judgments on my credit when I started. Out of those 27 collections, I only paid to get 7 of them settled. The other 20 I was able to get removed through the dispute process. So after
Wow,
doing that,
that's a lot.
buying my first home, it was such a joyous experience. I wanted others to experience it as well. So I started assisting people in my church, helping them get through the home buying process. And it just grew from there. And today we are here at the Credit Restore Station full time, helping
Yay!
people.
Yes.
All right, all right. So we asked everybody that's on, help us out. Share and like our post so that we can get more people to find out more about their credit and learn more about Water Cooler Wednesday. So help us out, share it and like for us.
Yes.
So of course it's always I put my name and number there. I'm Deanne Branch with EXP Realty. And
Uh-oh.
with me is what's your name?
It's Lisa. You don't know my name today,
No,
now,
I know
right?
your name.
Okay.
My voice.
Lisa, how's money, mama? Hi. With Nexus Mortgage, where brokers are better.
Yes. All right, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, Maurice, for being here because we were talking about goals right a few weeks ago, and so we kind of broke down some goals as
Hmm.
far as um, purchasing a home, and I just want to we wanted to start with the credit, right?
Yeah.
That's our first thing. So
Because
uh,
that's going to be one of the primary things that I talk to people about. So when you call and you're ready to get pre-qualified for your home purchase, or even if you're asking about refinancing, either way, that is going to be one of the main things I'm looking at. So it's always the CIA. but it's not Central Intelligence Agency. It's Credit, Income, and Assets. So
Nice.
credit being the first thing, that's usually one of the main things that we talk about because it's so important the way that it factors into the underwriting process and whether or not we can get a loan approved for you. So yeah, that was definitely one of the things we wanted to talk about. And Maurice, being the expert that he is, we knew that he would have some really good insights and information to share with everybody that could be a huge benefit to anybody who's listening. Um, so I don't know if you want to start off with a couple of things, Maurice, because I know sometimes it just helps to kind of jump in and give people
Yeah,
information because they most people have some kind of a basis for what credit is about. But usually people have run into some kind of problems with credit or heard of others who have, or maybe just don't know what it is that they need to do in order to prepare. I can talk a little bit in regards to some of those more specific things that we need to know for mortgage in particular, evaluating whether or not your credit is good or bad. I think we can kind of bounce off of each other with that and
definitely.
give some people some really good information as far as that goes. Obviously, one big thing that anybody would ask about is going to be score. What's that number?
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's one of the things that you help with. If people have a lower score, you're able to help them to increase that score. For me, my preference is for you to be a 640 or higher. I can do a loan at 620. I can do a loan at 580, but we don't really want to do a loan at 580 if we can get you to a 620 or 640 instead. So maybe you could talk a little bit about some things that people can do to increase their scores.
yeah. Well, we're at the start of the year, and as you said, you all discussed goals, and we know everyone likes to set goals at the start of the year. Fresh
Yeah.
start. So one of those goals typically is health, of course, and then another one should be credit. Many people want to purchase, but as you said, it got to start with the credit. You got to start with the credit. So you can't
Hmm.
fix a problem that you don't know about, right? So I would say the very first step is knowing what's on your credit. So many people scared to look at their credit. I know I was at one point. I was scared to see.
Yeah.
Too.
I knew I ain't do nothing right.
Right. I know. I don't know why it's like that, but it's like a fearful thing. People
It
are
is.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
just talked to somebody earlier today, I think it was, and I was like, I said, so do you know what your credit's like? He's like, I don't know what it is, but I know it's bad. How do you know
what
it's bad?
don't
If
it?
you don't know, if you ain't looked at it, then how do you know? It might sometimes, I got a girlfriend, she always say, well, you don't know what you don't know. And I used to hate what she said. I'm like, why does she say that? But it makes a lot of sense. You don't really know. If you don't look at it, you don't know what you don't
Right.
know. So
And
you have to look at it and find out.
and if you don't know, it's not a problem. It's mentally on your mind. It's not a problem that you're worried about because you're not aware
Right.
of. So but we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. You can't fix a problem that you're not aware of. So the first thing is looking at your credit. And I'm yet to this day, in all my years of credit repair, I still haven't seen no one who had credit worse than mine. People call me and they say it's bad, don't laugh at me. Like, girl, you want me to show you my old report? Because I kept my old report just to show people. I'm
Wow.
gonna upload it one day just to show y'all. And it was bad. But I couldn't fix it if I wasn't aware of what was on there. And I had to do something. You can't get somewhere by going nowhere, right?
Right.
So
Right.
the first step is knowing what's on your credit. So there are resources out there to get you access to your credit reports. There are free resources, of course, annualcreditreport.com. And seeming that we are in a pandemic, I believe they've been offering free monthly credit reports. It's usually just one a year from all three boroughs, but I think they've been offering monthly credit reports through annualcreditreport.com. You can't get scores
Okay.
from them, but they will give you your reports so you can know what's on them. Another one, of course, is you can sign up for the free Experian account. If you sign up for the free Experian.com account, all you have to do is upgrade that account and they'll give you all three reports and all three scores for free for a trial. But you must cancel before that trial is over. And you will still, even after canceling, have access to that three borough report with all three FICO scores. Granted,
And
these
isn't Experian the one that does that credit boost thing? Because I've seen that on people's
yeah,
credit reports
they
before.
have an Experian Boost program where you can connect your bank accounts and They will look at installment accounts that you have on there that you are paying recurring, like light bills and things like that. And they will incorporate that into your credit to see how much of a boost it can get you. And the great thing about the Experian boost, I mean, it doesn't work for everyone. Some people may only see a 1 or 2 point boost, but 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
True.
But on the flip side of it, if you add the Experian boost and it doesn't benefit you, you can remove it and it'll come right off instantly. But it only works for Experian. So yeah,
Right.
it's a good tool. It doesn't hurt to try it to see if it's a benefit for you, and if it's not, you can just remove it. So yep,
Uh,
Experian.
so, Lisa, do when you see the Experience boost, does it make a difference to you on your side?
Well, I don't know what the score is prior to the boost. So I don't know how much their score may have come up. But my thing is this, I have to look at all three credit bureaus. So if you have, one of those bureaus that's able to be higher, then
Yep,
that could potentially change what the middle score is that I would use, to qualify you with. So like say for example, if you have three scores and one of them is a 600, the other one is a 690, but then the last one is a 590. Okay.
Right.
So if the boost is bringing you up now, maybe that 590, I don't know, it becomes a 630 or something like that. So then that changes what the middle score could be. I mean, you don't know. So
So
my
is the
thing is
middle
that I'd rather, if you can get the scores a little bit higher, I'd rather you go ahead and try it and do it.
so is the middle score just the one that's in the middle, or is it an
Hmm.
average of all three?
No, it's the one
Okay.
that's actually in the middle. So if you got a 610, a 620, and a 630, I'm using the 620 because that's the one that's in between.
Okay.
yep,
All
yep.
right.
Yeah, so yep, as I was saying, those resources, Credit Karma is a resource as well. Lastly, a lot of people
Mhm.
don't like Credit Karma, and they say Credit Karma be lying and Credit Karma wrong. But
They do
Credit
say
Karma,
that.
yeah, but Credit Karma is actually accurate. They're very
Yeah.
accurate in their reporting. So I use Credit Karma more so for monitoring because they will accurately report what's on your credit, what
I
accounts
think
are
Mhm.
on
that's
your credit.
is
But
that how you spell it again? I can't remember if
That's
it's a
right.
okay with the K. I
yeah,
thought it was credit with a K, but
yeah,
um, they used to say that Credit Karma was just an average, and it really wasn't. Actually, it's good for, like you said, for monitoring, but it was just an average. They kind of have a formula that tracks to try to be similar to what the other scores are, but they're not exactly correct. So your score could be a little higher or a little lower.
Credit
No.
Karma is it's not that they use they use what's called Vantage scoring. It's an older scoring module, and most lenders don't use Vantage scoring. So a lot of auto dealerships use Vantage scoring. I know Toyota uses the FICO auto scoring module. But
Okay.
if you went to a car lot, a lot of your scores, a lot of the scores they see will be similar to what Credit Karma sees because most of them are probably using Vantage scoring. But Lisa, on the other hand, is going to use FICO scores. So
Right.
your scores that you see from Experian aren't going to be exactly what she sees, but they're going to be closer to those scores. So that's why with my company, we use Experian.com and Credit Check Total a lot of times to monitor and to work on our clients' credit because we know those scores. If we get those scores up to that 640 or above, we know when Lisa pulls, they should hit right where she needs them to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
yep, those are some
So far, so
resources.
good. It's been working.
Yes, indeed, it's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
another
yeah,
thing I know, were you going on to something else? Because I know one of the things that we had talked about a little bit, would be the actual, because you kind of got into it already, the contents of the credit report itself. Because sometimes people think, oh, I got a 650 score, I'm good. Not necessarily.
yeah, that's really good that you bring that up, Lisa, because as you said, a lot of people believe that. I mean, I've worked on people's credit where we were able to remove all the negative accounts on their credit, but unfortunately, all they had was negative accounts. So once we
Wow.
remove everything, their scores go to zero. They have no score because they have no accounts to populate a
Report.
score.
Hmm.
So we add them to what's called a trade line or an authorized user account. Um, and by doing that, they're able instantly, once a trade line hits their credit, I can tell them what their score is going to be. It's going to be about a 720, 750, just from adding that trade line. And I've had many people think they can go apply and get approved for anything because they got this 750 score with this one trade line on their credit, but no primary accounts. And to that point, just because you have a high score, as you said, that doesn't mean that you have good credit. Good credit
Right.
is a balance of nice scores and a good mix of credit, on time payments within that credit, and healthy
Yeah.
credit balances compared to those limits. So, uh, a good friend of mine that also works with credit, with mortgages, her name's Shalonda Taylor. She always says your credit report is your adult report card. So, yeah, your adult report card has to be in order. You need to see more green than red, hopefully, no red. So, paying those
Yeah.
bills on time is going to help you develop good payment history, because if you came to me to borrow $100,000, I want to know for sure that I'm going to get my money back, and your word isn't good enough. I need to see
Right.
some evidence that you have a history of paying your bills and paying them on time to give me an assurance that me giving you this $100,000, I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to get it back
Right.
on time. You know,
Mhm.
Right.
so
Right. And I'm glad you kind of segue into that, because that's what I was going to say too. When it comes down to the score, that's great that the score is high. However, for to take it one step further, as a mortgage lender, we're looking for you being the person that has paid. So the authorized user accounts are good for the purposes of getting to a certain score, because of course you want the score to be higher. That's great. But when it comes to evaluating the loan, I have had underwriters look at loans and say, "No, we're not going to take a chance on this, because unless I would have been able to provide, like, say for example, what we refer to as non-traditional credit. I can build a credit report based upon other things that I can show a history of." But if I've had people that they come in with a higher score, but they don't have any trade lines that are in their name. And a trade line is just, that's when a creditor is extending credit to you. So if they don't have anything like that where it's in their name, as opposed to being an authorized user, if they're not the primary or a co-borrower or something like that, then it's, we can't really prove that you paid it. So when you're an authorized user, like, I got my son, he's 19. I have him on one of my cards. So he doesn't have a card. I haven't given him a physical card. He
mhm.
doesn't charge anything on my card. He doesn't pay the bill, but he's still getting the
Yep.
benefit of the credit, reporting to his name, because of the fact that he's as an authorized user on my account. So the underwriters look at that the same way. They're like, okay, you're not legally responsible for, you could come off this at any time. We can't even really say that you were the one who's actually been paying this, for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so they look at it that when they take that into consideration. So we're usually looking for you to have at least one or two trade lines that have your name on it, not an authorized user. You can have authorized user accounts as well, but you need to have accounts that are in your name. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, you want to have a history established. We do everything in mortgages in twos. So we're looking for 2 year residence, 2 year income, 2 year assets, and 2 year in credit. So you want to have at least 2 years of a history that they're going to be looking at to say, okay, this person has paid these bills on time for the past 24 months.
Okay. So we do have a question, guys. So why do they lower your score when the company decides to close your account?
Mm, good question. Good question. So, yes, and it's brutal. It can be so brutal. Sometimes it's a short drop in your score, but sometimes it's a major drop. But a lot of times, the reason your score drops when an account closes is because that account is no longer being factored in to your usage and things like that, because it's no longer an active account. It's closed now. Yeah, it may be an old account, so it'll help your credit age, but because it's no longer open, it's no longer being calculated into your current
Right.
credit,
Right.
profile.
Right. I
So,
think that sometimes people don't understand that there's an algorithm that they use, and I'm sure you've seen these, Maurice. I've used these in workshops before, like a little pie grid, sort of, where
mhm,
you split off 35%,
yeah,
of on-time payments factors into this algorithm that they use to calculate your score and blah 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 blah. So your score can definitely lower, because I like to tell people in workshops, you need to be in it to win it. So if you want to be doing well and winning in credit, as far as credit goes, you need to be actively participating. That's why when you're no longer actively participating, that's
Yeah.
why now you can see a decrease in the score, because now they can say, oh, okay, yeah, this person is paying on time every month. And so now you just got, they paid, but we don't know what they're doing now because
Right.
there's nothing, reporting. So they can't use that to
Right.
factor in.
And then I've had clients like, oh, well, I'm paying off all my credit cards and then I'm going to close them. And I'm like,
Ooh.
no, don't do that. Don't do that. I've always said, pay your credit card. You can pay it down, but pay it down to like maybe you have $100 still on the account, depending on the balance, so it
Right.
can still
The
show
limit.
that it's an active account. So that's some advice that I normally do, because you don't want to pay it off in full and they think that the account has been closed, right,
Mhm.
Maurice? Like
Well,
that could be a part too.
if you pay the card off in full, it's fine. In most instances, that will help you, but in some instances, depending on the card holder, or the card provider, it can lower your score by paying it off. But in most instances, you'll get more of a score boost with reducing the balances on those things. Now, if you pay a card off and you don't use that card for some creditors 3 months, on average it's about 4 to 6 months. If that card is sitting dormant with no activity, they will close the account because it's dormant. So they feel you
Yeah.
don't need it, so why extend it? And Synchrony Bank, if you're not utilizing those cards with Synchrony Bank, they'll evaluate your credit sometimes monthly, and they'll reduce your limit that they've extended to you if they feel you're not using it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
Yes, and yeah. Lowe's decreased me. I
yep,
was
they
like,
Synchrony Bank. Lowe's is Synchrony Bank. Common.
and then when I needed to go buy a refrigerator, I couldn't. I was like,
Yes,
fine. See what happened?
I need to use mine before they decrease me.
All right, we got another question. How can I boost my score without using a trade line if you are current on your payment and no collections?
Okay, another good question. Another good question. So, anytime I evaluate a potential client's credit report, the first thing I look at is usage, because that credit card usage is 35%. It affects 35% of their credit score. So that's 1/3 of the problem in most cases, is their credit cards are too high. The
Yeah.
balances on them are too high. And just by reducing those, they will see a drastic increase. And I like to give this example of it. When I bought my first house in 2010, my scores were in the 650 range. I had like 3 credit cards. I closed on the house and I maxed out all those credit cards. Started paying the minimum due. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. But this is 2010. So started paying the minimum due. My scores dropped all the way to like the middle to high 500s.
Wow.
I was okay with that though, because there was nothing. I wasn't looking to purchase anything anytime soon, but I wasn't really knowledgeable about that minimum due game, the rat race that is hard to get out of. So then I wanted to buy my wife a new truck. So I paid off all my credit cards. My scores went right back up to where they were. I
Mhm.
bought her truck and I maxed them out again. So you don't want to do that, no. You don't want to max them out.
Don't
So
follow him.
Right. Do what I say, not as I do.
yes, not as I do back in 2010.
Right.
So, one way to increase your score is to make sure those credit card balances are paid down. And a lot of people always say 30%. I'm trying to get 30. No, go lower than 30%. Your
Mm-hmm.
goal needs to be that 10%. Stay under 10%, because the lower the balance, the more points you get. The more the balance, the more points you lose. That's
Yeah.
how I like to look at it. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's a way you can definitely increase your score. Yeah.
So I've heard also too, like putting something on your credit card, like a Netflix or something. So maybe your card don't have a balance on it, right? You got it down and you still not seeing any movement.
Yeah.
It was kind of like put Netflix on the credit card and you pay it off continuously, right? So that I heard that will help boost it.
Um, I don't know as far as boosting, but you definitely want some activity on those credit cards. I keep a lot of my credit cards at zero balance, and then I'll use them um, just to get some activity on, so they don't go dormant. A couple of those cards I do want to close, but I'm not ready to close them just yet. But another thing I would say is it's the type of credit accounts you have on your credit too. So
Okay.
I used to always tell clients to get a major credit card, a retail credit card. You know, um, most people need a car, so you got your auto loan. Um, what else? Your installment loan. So it's a
Mhm.
healthy mix of credit and on-time payments with that healthy mix of credit. Because sometimes for a solid profile, they want you to have about 5 open trade lines, 5 open primary accounts. And if you don't have that, at least 5, you don't want to go crazy now. Don't go
Right.
crazy. But if you don't have at least 5 open positive accounts, that could be what's causing a person for their score just to stay stagnant. Some people want like my score
Mhm.
won't move,
Right.
just stay the
So
same.
Lisa and I have a comment on his comment about buying a car.
Uh-oh.
Don't buy a car before you buy a house.
Before you
Oh,
buy your
please don't.
house, right?
Don't do
Oh,
it.
please
And if
don't.
you do, don't buy one with one of them $700 payments.
Oh,
Right. Don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah.
So you got all the rest. Don't go buy a new car just yet. Listen, we have one more. We had another question too. So it was more of a comment. So are you better off
He
having
kind of
one major
addressed it
card?
because she said that you better off having one major credit card as opposed to several credit cards, and he just addressed it
You
really
just
in
that.
his last
Yeah.
comment. Mm-hmm.
So that's
You
why
can
I just want.
you can have multiple, but so this is I'm not gonna throw them out there, even though I could as a family member. But I fixed their credit. They were beautiful. Credit's nice 700s, and man, this was great for them. They hadn't been there before, and they weren't used to just being able to get approved everywhere they went. And they went crazy. Every retail store they went to, they had a credit card for, and it was like Christmas time came, all these credit cards maxed out, and it's easy to use them, but it's always
Wilma
hard
and
to use them.
Betty, charge it.
Yeah. So she went crazy, and when I went back to evaluate because they needed help again, I couldn't believe how many retail credit cards she had. I'm like, just say no. She was like, I couldn't help it.
Just say
Right.
no.
And I think and so I would get downright evil with the JC Penney lady, right? Or the right that say, well, I'll give you 15% off if you open a credit card. I said, but you're not gonna keep my credit score down. Like you're gonna right, you're gonna well, you can get a better score. We had a whole argument about my credit score.
Hey, fight for your credit
Wow.
score.
I said, you're not messing up my score, baby, for no card. No, no. But it can help your credit card. I said, no, it won't. It will not.
Mm-mm.
So, so
And
don't
keep in
do it.
mind, I want to tag on just a little bit to what Maurice said in regards to like the 5 trade lines. So those don't have to be all like revolving cards. They don't have to be all
Right.
credit cards. But actually, what's good, I think of credits like a salad. When you eat a salad, you don't want just lettuce. You want lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, croutons, a bunch of things in it. So credit is the same way. You want to have a blend of credit. So you want to have installment loans. You want to have like an auto loan. You want to have revolving like the credit cards. And actually, once you get this together and you come and get your mortgage through me, then that mortgage being that mix and actually bring your score up even more. So that'll
Yep.
help too.
Another
Mm,
But
type of
you do want to have a mix of things in your credit, not just all credit cards. You want to have other different kinds of credit extended to you.
and I want to go back to that one question about boosting your score
Hmm.
um, without using a trade line. So another way to boost your score is if you have a credit card that's in good condition, it has a low balance, but you've been using it actively, request a increase. on your
Okay.
limit. That increase also can give you a boost because the more credit that's extended to you, that's a good look on your credit. It'll also cause other lenders
Right.
to be more trusting of you because this lender is trusting of you. So
Yeah.
a way to get those increases, those limits increased is if you have to make a major purchase and you have the cash to make that major purchase, make it on your credit card and be disciplined enough to pay it off with that cash within a day or two. Because for one, that's going to show them that you're a big spender with their credit card, and that's also going to open the door for them to extend more to you when you request the increase. But if you
Mhm.
got a $2,000 credit card and they only see you using $100 of money, you request the increase. It's like, for what? For what? You don't need it. So
Yeah.
that's
That
another way
makes
to
sense.
help get
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good. This has been good. I can't believe we're already at the end of the show.
Right, right. Well, we
I go for
always
that
have
one
a
every
great
time.
time when Maurice comes because he always
Yep.
gives us some great information.
Yep.
Always a pleasure to be here with you all.
Right,
Well, you know
Enjoy.
this is not the last time. You're gonna have to come back
Right.
again.
Oh
So
yeah,
right,
it's always fun with y'all.
right. So if you guys are interested in repairing your credit, it could be for purchasing a home or anything, just making sure you're in the right space. Contact Maurice Home at Credit Restore Station. This is his phone number. We send all our clients over to him. so start there. We start there, then we go to Lisa if we need. But
And
definitely go ahead, Maurice.
I was going to say, follow me. I'm also on TikTok under the Credit Restore Station. I'm on Instagram. I've started giving credit tips and things on those social media sites. You can follow me on Facebook as well. And I also do free credit evaluations. You don't know where you stand, reach out to me. We can look over your credit situation and come up with a plan for you.
good.
All right, all right, all right. If you're ready, we don't need to go to Maurice, and we ready to go ahead and start to purchase your home. We always start with our pre-approval. So give Lisa a call.
Pre-qualification.
What you say? Yeah, yeah.
I said
Sorry.
pre-qualification.
Yeah, I know. That's all right. Right. So start with Lisa. Give her a call. She is always ready. All right. Uh, Looking to purchase? Give me a call. Right. I service Illinois, but I also can refer out to other states. So I know we have a lot of people in other states. So my team is large. I work for a global company now, so
Yeah.
I can
Yay.
actually help you buy in Cancun.
That
I have to take you up on that offer.
vacation villa.
Right. So just give me a call if you're interested. I can definitely help you with that. All right. And
All right.
we always need you all to follow us on Water Cooler Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday except for when we need a vacation or it's a holiday.
I like how you put that.
So we look forward to seeing you every week. So thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, everybody. Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you.
Great having you.
Bye bye.